Hello watchers, welcome to the Recall Lab. Today we will gonna explain a 2011 action horror movie Priest. The film follows a warrior priest who embarks on a mission to rescue his niece from vampires. The film features in a world where humans and vampires have been at war for centuries. In order to rescue his niece, the priest must battle his way through hordes of vampires while facing off against a powerful vampire leader who has his own plans for the priest's niece. So let's begin and watch out for spoilers. The movie begins where a group of priests were searching for a remote location where they can find Vampire Queen. But later they found that they were trapped and vampires attacked them. They killed all the priests and very few managed to save their life. In ancient times there was a war between humans and vampires. Vampires were fast and more powerful than humans, so humans saved themselves by hiding in the church and locked the city with huge walls. Then they finally make the weapons they need, humans with special powers, and church train them to fight vampires. And then they kill and capture the vampires. After this the higher authorities dismissed them and priests were forced to live a normal life. Now we see Owen, who tests the soil for agriculture, and her wife Shannon said that they will successfully grow crops this time. Their daughter's name is Lucy. When they were praying to God before eating, they were suddenly attacked by a group of vampires. They told Lucy to hide herself in the basement and close that door. Lucy heard that those vampires killed her mom and dad. But then one vampire opens the door and finds Lucy. Then we see one priest who went to a confession room where people went to confess their sins. He talked about the dream he saw where his colleagues were killed by vampires. Then Father told him to do his work and sacrifice to save himself. When he returned to his room, he sensed that someone was already present outside his room. He captured him and asked the reason. That person's name was Hicks, and he was a sheriff. He informed him about the vampire attack, and they take Lucy with them, and his brother sends him here. Hicks said that he is going to find Lucy and it will be better if the priest will join them, but he didn't respond and Hicks left him in his room. Then the priest went to the meeting with higher authorities and asked them permission to go to meet his family, but the authorities didn't believe him and did not accept that there can be any vampire remaining. They order that he cannot leave this city without their permission. Then we see that vampires kept Lucy on a train. Lucy said that her uncle is a priest and he will come to save her, and the vampire leader said that is what he wants. The priest and his friend talk in the bar. The priest said that he has to go to save his family, and his friend tries to convince him that he cannot break his pledge. But then the priest said he would break his pledge, and then he attacked those soldiers who surrounded him and left that shop. The priest takes his bike and leaves that city. He reached his brother's house and he went inside and found their photo. He took that photo and then Hicks finds him. Hicks takes him to his place where they were treating his brother. His brother told him to bring Lucy back and asked to promise him that he will kill all the vampires. Hicks and priest decide that they will leave to search for Lucy the next morning. Higher authorities gathered other priests and ordered them to bring the priest back to the city, whether he will be dead or alive. Next morning, after burying his brother and his brother's wife, the priest and Hicks went to their home. The priest saw the footprint around the house and said that these are not of any vampire. But still they decide to follow them to find who has done this. They reach a remote location. Priest sees that they have less time for inspection as the sun is about to set. They went inside to examine the location. They see many vampire slaves in that location. They asked one of them about Lucy, but he said he didn't know anything about her. They went inside the bunker to check it. And then those slaves attacked them. Hicks managed to come out from that bunker and vampire slaves were following him. The priest stopped him from using gun. The priest killed all the slaves and asked the last one to answer his question, but at that time the sun sets and those vampires came out to fight. He fights all the vampires and kills them, but one manages to escape. Then the priest again asked that slave about Lucy and he said they took her towards the west. Then that vampire again attacked them and the priest killed him. They move west to find Lucy. They reach the location and see a giant hive. They climbed over and went inside it. The priest went down to find any clue and said Hicks to shoot anything which comes up except him. When the priest was inspecting, he found another priest who had been sent by authority to take him back. Hicks finds one doll and he goes inside to find more things. Then they encounter a giant vampire who is the guard of this hive. Then the priest and another member fight with that guard. The priest killed that guard. Then the female priest who was sent by authorities told the priest that she is seeing bad dreams, and then she sees that they are fighting war again. Then the priest said he also has seen those same dreams. They see that vampires have created a new army, but they don't understand where they all went. They find a way, and its direction is towards a city named Jericho. At night a train stops at that station. Then from that train vampires attack the city. Other priests reached there and tried to stop the vampire leader, but he was very strong and he killed one member. He asked them to join him, otherwise he will kill them. The next morning the priest and others reached the city and they found out that the whole city was empty. They found the dead bodies of other priests, and Hicks asked how they could destroy one city and just vanished in sunlight. Then the priest found one watch near the track and they figured out that they were traveling by train, and at night they attacked the cities. The next stoppage of the train is the main city, and the priest said that due to pollution there is no sunlight in the city and without us they are helpless. They plan that they will move ahead of the train and the female priest will destroy the tracks. Until then the priest will search for Lucy. On the train the vampire leader asks Lucy to eat food. Lucy asked him what he wanted, and the vampire leader said he wants to vanish the complete human race. They all start moving towards the train. Then Hicks said priest to promise him that he will not kill Lucy, otherwise he will shoot him. And then he finds out that Lucy is the priest's daughter. When the higher authorities take him, that time Lucy was a child and she needs a father, so the priest's brother takes the responsibility to take care of her. And Hicks finally understands their situation. Then Hicks and priest went on the train and the female priest went ahead to set explosives on the track. Hicks saw many vampire wombs in the compartment. The priest encountered the vampire leader. Then the priest sees that the vampire leader was once one of them and they fight vampires together. But when the vampires take him inside the hive, the vampire queen makes him a human vampire. He asks the priest to join him. But the priest decides to fight with him. But the leader is much faster and stronger than the priest. The vampire leader throws him down and thinks that the priest died, but the priest manages to grab the train and he stays down the train. The female priest sets the explosives on the track, but then a few vampire slaves attack her. She killed them one by one, but one of them managed to reach the explosives and destroyed the explosive switch. On the train those vampire wombs starts breaking and Hicks runs towards the next compartment. He sees Lucy in that compartment, but one vampire slave takes her to the next compartment. The priest also joins him by breaking the floor of the compartment. They follow Lucy and reach the next compartment, but then that vampire leader also comes inside the train and he throws Hicks down the train and fights with the priest. The vampire leader hangs the priest on the wall of the train with a knife and takes Lucy with him. The female priest sets those explosives on her bike and starts moving towards the train. Then the priest gains his consciousness, and before the vampire leader infects Lucy he throws a cross towards him which hits on the vampire leader's neck. The priest grabs Lucy and sees that the female priest is coming with explosives on her bike. Then the female priest jumps from her bike and the priest and Lucy jump from the train, and with a massive explosion the train is derailed from the track and the vampire leader dies in the explosion. When Hicks reaches the crash location he sees that Lucy and priest both are alive. The priest sees that the female priest is also alive. Then the priest went to the church where higher authorities were present, and in front of all he threw a vampire head and said about the train, which is full of vampire bodies. The priest said that the vampire queen was not in them. The higher authorities said that war is over, but the priest said that the war has just begun. He leaves the city and later meets the female priest and they decide to find the vampire queen. The movie ends here.